One of the few cobbled races he's left to win, in fact. This is Laurens Pithy, who's at 11 seconds now. Crucial few kilometres now for him. He was so close to getting back in there. There's a cross tailwind all the way back to Wevelgem now. These three riders at 16 seconds, sorry, at 58 seconds, I should say now. If they get organised, there's a chance to get closer, but as that time ticks on to around a minute, might get to a stage where the Pendleton get close to them and they're part of that. Everybody's got to work here. I've just now been told he can work. 30 kilometres remain, and it's the long, almost straight road to Wevelgem. "20 seconds and growing now, the car in the gap. Laurens Pithy, after all of that hard work, is in danger of seeing his challenge for the podium collapse. Been a great ride from the man from New Zealand. First time he's really attacked the Cobble Classics. It's proving to be quite the young star. So Turgis is into the chasers. They're at 1 minute and 2 and losing seconds by the pedal stroke. Van der Poel and Pedersen, there's only two of them, but they are pulling out. Are we on for another of the same story? It was not quite the same way, but it was Mathieu van der Poel who won the other day, and Needle Trek who were best of the rest. They were the non-stop attackers on Friday. And there's more than attacking here, there's waiting. Who do they wait for now? Yves Lampaert is there. Jesper Askren is there. And Tim Merlier. Magnus Sheffield wants the motorbike to be out the way, given the fact his teammate's a little bit up the road. Now, Soudal Quickstep, do they get to work riding to try and help Tim Merlier to come back and win a sprint? They've got a couple more riders behind, you see. And if they wait a little bit more, they might get some more ammunition in. But it's difficult. And now there's attacks. It's not quite fast enough. They're waiting for the others, but now it's Nils Pollitt attacking. Oh, it's all over the place, this race. This is a situation we often get here. Not quite enough bodies, not quite enough people working to really go to work for the team. So there's attacks, there's hesitation, and it favours the riders who are up the road. In this case, two of the best riders in the world. And both of those riders are in a two-up sprint. Invariably, they win. As you saw from the graphic, 80% chance, but between these two, something's got to give. Will it come to a sprint? Will there be an attack to drop the other? It's difficult to see. We will see. What we are seeing here, I'm afraid, for Laurens Pithy fans, he's losing more ground. He's almost 40 seconds behind now. .28 Ks to go. They're knocking quickly along to the finish. Gap to the pelotons at 1:30. It would still be retrievable if they rode. They're starting to do that now. Cross tailwind. Are they going to get some help? Well, Tish Benot's going to help them because we'll have Kois here. And this is a really interesting bit of news. Riders from Soudal Quickstep working to try and keep Tim Merlier in position to sprint against riders from Visma Leasebach. And as soon as they get going, more splits develop in the crosswinds. In the end, they couldn't really wait for more reinforcements. They had to go, and they did go. Bert van Leerberger's just on the right-hand side, still in there. Tim Merlier in Nokere. He's just sitting a little further back. It's Lampaard and Askreen who are doing the work. And Tischbenot who's helping Olaf Kooi. The numbers are there to get Van der Poel and Pedersen back. The minute it's 3 riders against 2. But it's not just any 2. 2 of the strongest riders in recent times. And you're looking at a man who's won this race in Pedersen. One of only 2 Danish winners, by the way. Pedersen won in 2020. Lars Mikkelsen in 1995. This is Pedersen. This is Pithy, I should say. Ellerton, despite getting organised more behind, are losing ground still, 134. "26 kilometres remain. And with no real elevation to speak of on the way back to Wevelgem, it is flat as a pancake. And if Van der Poel were to be caught, good news for Alpecin de Koning. They've got just about the fastest man around here, Jasper Philipsen. Of course, a special opportunity for him maybe to set his own records. Talking of all the records, sequences, trying to join a really special club to have won Milano Sanremo and Gent-Wevelgem in the same season. Only Eddy Merckx and Mario Cipollini have ever been able to do that. Particular and peculiar double. 8 days since Jasper Philipsen was victorious on Via Roma in Italy's festival city. We're talking of festivals, parties. It's over for now for Laurens Pithy. Sitting up and waiting for this group. We'll get together and work. At the minute, they'd be fighting for 3rd spot on the podium. We all know that in the final 25 Ks on the way to Wevelgem, things can change. And cycling's such a funny sport, isn't it? These 2 riders both want to win the race. But for now, they have to sort of pretend to be teammates. They have to work together to have that opportunity to win. Share the workload and keep their advantage, and then fight it out for victory. A few of these on the way in. Roundabouts as they come into Ypres or Ypres. Beautiful city. Also one of the most poignant places in the world. It's where we started the race today. It's the modern starting place for Gent-Wevelgem. The race has started down the years in Ghent and Daines are just outside of the city. With all of the horrible history in this part of the world, we make sure that we do not forget the sacrifices made. Ypres really is at the centre of that, and there's a museum. Of course, the Menengate. And the memorials to the missing and the fallen. Ypres in Flemish, the local language, Ypres in French tongue, and of course more widely known as Ypres around the world as well. Over a minute of a gap for Pedersen and Van der Poel. You just saw Pedersen a moment ago on the radio, just inquiring as to the situation. The 2 superstars are welcomed onto the road where they started this morning. Since then, the race has been split to smithereens in the wind, with over 150 kilometres remaining. They've been up 9 hills. They've been across 3 off-road sectors. And after various groups and splits and moves, 2 are left standing. 23 kilometres remain. They go through and under the Menengate. It's a place for pause and reflection. But here in the bike race, there's no time to stop. Most of today's battles have been fought. As Pithi is caught by those chasing, unless this group suddenly find something, and the front two play games, it looks as though we're going to have a two-up effort between Mathieu van der Poel and Mads Pedersen to win Gent-Wevelgem. One away. Gap to the peloton is getting much better as far as these guys are concerned. The work is paying off, but 121, not insurmountable. They need to get their act together now. And they're doing just that. Soudal Quick-Step again and everything, and you can hear the cheers. They've not won this race, the home team, in 12 years. Well, the way racing is at the minute, you would not put it past them bringing this back. It would take, though, a mighty effort against two riders who look pretty indestructible today. Speak of the devil. Here they are. Van der Poel's turn to talk to the team car. Maybe a chance to get the sports director up there, have a chat. Getting to the point where fueling will no longer be allowed in a kilometre's time. Fleet of motorbikes here. You could just see the race director telling a few of them to clear off, but there's the photos for the papers tomorrow. And the next big picture might well be taken on the finish line. Will it go down to the final straight? And after Van der Poel was on the radio, here comes the team car. Maybe a bit of advice, certainly a bidon. Last chance before they get to that 20 k's to go, where fueling strictly is no longer allowed. However, given what's happened today, and not too much opportunity for team cars to get up there and speak to their riders, I wonder if that will be extended a little bit. We'll see. These two groups look like they might be destined to come together, because Soudal Quick-Step chasing well behind. Turgis, Turner, Pithi, Page. Soudal Quick-Step now are being helped by what's left from Visma Lease bike. You've got Van Dijken alongside Benoot. This is Lombard giving his all. Oliver Naassen still in this group, which is interesting. He's got a fast finish. Remember, they started the race with Edouard Boasson-Hagen in the race. A winner 15 years ago on debut. It was a 15th Gent-Wevelgem today for the Norwegian. And he missed out on the start in 2011. That puts him third on the list now of all-time starters. Matthew Hayman and George Hincapie with 17 and 16 respectively, having ridden this more. Just less than 20 kilometers to go. Peloton has got this back to 110. They're making inroads. Are they going to make this even more interesting? Van der Poel and Pedersen, of course, they're two giants of this sport. But they're human. Have they fueled? Have they been able to eat and drink properly? You all know that sometimes you can just hit the wall, certainly in racing like we've seen today. This is not a done deal. next 10 kilometres are going to be vital to see what might be able to happen in this race. Well, the Hoogkrater Cemetery in Sillebeke. Located along the Mennen Road, against that hillside of Dorge. On the site of an old battle, in fact. Site of a detonation of a huge mine charge in 1915. Many servicemen buried alive on that particular occasion today. It stands as one of the many poignant memorials to those who gave there today, so we could all have a tomorrow. Bora Hansgrohe have added their names to the chase. Lompard wants to motivate them to keep it going. This is Marco Haller who is chasing. Stefan Kung is up there. Because Alpecin Koenig are not going to chase this with Van der Poel at the front, but they have plenty of riders behind to work hard and make sure that they could set up Jasper Philipsen to lead. And same with Lidl Trek, they've got options behind, haven't they? Looking at this group, Decathlon, I should have said, well, there's Sam Bennett here, the Irishman. It is Oliver Naesen for them who would be doing any sprinting should things come back. But again, that's still not looking a strong possibility yet. As we said though, after a race like today, anything can happen. Do you get the feeling you're looking at two of the riders least likely to suffer that fate, however. And now a move from this group, just as they're about to be caught. It's Turner who wants to keep it going. Followed by Page. Trying to bring just what would be a second podium in the history of the Ineos Grenadiers in this race. They've been racing these races for over a decade now. And the Geraint Thomas podium. Any sort of reward for them. "16 kilometres to the finish. They are flying towards the destination today. As the kilometres tick by, Van der Poel and Pedersen will be hoping that that gap remains good enough for them to fight each other for the victory. That's why, for now, they have to remain unified. Only surely, once they're assured victory, will the games begin. But again, in this generation, with these riders, you never know. Van der Poel knows he's got options behind, but the same can be said of Pedersen. A kilometre between the first two groups at the minute. Fast riders still as well as Philipsen in that chasing group are Girmay, Meeus, Matthews, Medley, Coy. Just don't have the teammates to bury themselves there. This is not like the end of a Tour de France stage. At this point in a Tour stage, you'd be thinking, well, breakaway riders chased down by the masses of teams who want to sprint, but it's not that same situation. And of course, it's not the same breakaway riders. 4 riders have been caught. It's now 2 in the front and a chasing peloton. As it stands, riding for 3rd place. They've got some mighty riders bearing themselves at the front, including Kisper Askren here. 109, the gap's come down. Look at the turn being put in by the former winner of the Tour of Flanders. He's a former national time trial champion as well. On his national road race championship as Askren, and now it's Van Dijk who comes to the front. They know how hard this is. Even Askren making those in his wheels suffer. But that's the sort of pace and power, they're the watts they need. And then some. Because out the front, I'll repeat it for the umpteenth time, 2 of the top riders that this sport has seen in recent years. It was quite the start, wasn't it? To Mars Pedersen's season. Turned up at Etoile de Bessèges, winning a stage in the overall. A week later, he was in Provence, winning a prologue, 2 stages, and the general again. But he hasn't won since. Hasn't won at the top level yet this year. We know he's been close. Twice second in Paris-Nice, 4th in San Remo last week, and on Friday just outside the top 10. Mathieu van der Poel, well, it's just his 3rd race day of the season on the road. An excellent cross season. Only lost once. Won another world title, a 6th. And just 1 away from Erik de Vlaeminck's record. On his first day on the road, he was 10th in San Remo, helping his mate Philipsen to take the win. And on Friday, he was victorious after 82 kilometres on the attack. And the E3 Saxo Classic, Harelbeke. "12 kilometres to go. Still 109 the gap. At the minute, travelling at 64 k's an hour. It's looking good for a 2-up sprint. Sprint à deux. Last time we had that in this race, 2017. It was Greg van Avermaet who got the better of Jens Kukkelaere. We mentioned Edvald Boasson-Hagen and his victory in 2009 before. On his debut, that was the same situation, beating Alexander Kuczynski. 19 years ago now, Nico Matan beat Juan Antonio Flecha. And yes, we mentioned Wilfred Peters earlier on. He beat Franco Ballerini in a 2-up sprint. Well, he shouldn't need omens to hold on to, should Mathieu van der Poel. He's the world champion. He won on Friday. But the last Dutch win, if he needs one, came from a 2-up sprint in 1989. He headed Sonneveld, beating Sean Yates. And there we go. The graphic tells you, between these two, it would be the first time that these two together sprint against each other, 2-up, on their own, without any other competition, for a big victory in professional cycling. 10 kilometres to go and the gap is just over a minute. It's coming down, but not by enough right now. It will get tighter, I think. Will it get tight enough? To Berwick. Birthplace of Sam Bennett, but he's not in this group. Marco Haller's teammate Jordi Meeus is, and he's really giving everything. Soudal Quickstep also. It's all for Tim Medlier for them. And Gil Gelders, after a really hard race, continues to battle. Another monster turn, I'm sure, now from Kisper Askren. And then it will be the opportunity for Tiesj Benoot, with that right knee injured still from Friday's crash, to try and bring back some seconds. Tim Medlier is being brought up towards the front as they come through 10 k's to go. The gap's not shifting the right way for these sprinters. Things don't really change in the next 5k. I might start to think about tactics on just lining up their sprinters for that third place. They're within a kilometre now, and the gap has just gone below a minute for the first time. The streets on the road to Wevelgem, every year lined with those who love this sport. This year watching a fast finish. Tailwind all the way now. The world champions there. That's the man who won that rainbow jersey for Denmark in 2019. 57 seconds. Ugeluve. Where I'm sat at the finish line, the first organisation cars are cheered across the line as well. Everybody in Wevelgem knows the race is about to come to town. Inside 8 kilometres the line. And tension that has blown up, calmed down, again begins to build. This time to see who will win the race. Could be a second time win for Mads Pedersen, joining a club of those who've won it on multiple occasions. Recent years, you think of Peter Sagan in particular, who won this race more than once. Now retired, of course. "50 Belgian wins in the past, out of the 85 editions so far. And if there's to be another, and it comes through either Jordi Meeus or Tim Merlier, they really need a miracle to pull this back. But they're trying, they're working, they are giving everything. And another few seconds comes out the gap. Every time it's this man on the front. Jesper Askren is mightily strong. If you had to place a bet here, you'd think
Australia y China. En el grado de educación que hay, el índice de esa gente es para que tú veas que no es cuestión de pobreza. Es cuestión
Mira, yo quiero que Boletri le preste atención a esto que yo voy a decir. Que Boletri sabe de apuestas. Oye.
Pedersen and Van der Poel continuing to roll on. The other interesting thing to add into the mix now is these two will be trying to save whatever they can. Difficult balancing act. Is one of them going to attack? Are they saving everything for the sprint? Is that the agreement that's been made? There's a chat there. Van der Poel could do this. He'd be the fifth rider to win both the Air3 Press and Gent-Wevelgem in the same season. Raas, Cipollini, Bona twice, and Greg van Avermaet, the last man to do that. Incredible, really, given the races nowadays are just a couple of days apart. In the win on the Friday. A recovery ride yesterday, back to racing today, and in, well, furious fashion. Cycling fans this morning will have awoken to some of the best news possible watching the weather forecast. The wind was howling through West Flanders. It's blowing them now back towards Wevelgem, all the way from the hills in the distance there. It's blowing the peloton ever closer too, but at the minute not quite close enough. 5 kilometers to go, 54 seconds. Hasn't yet come back anywhere near quickly enough. It would take them to really mess about at the front for things to change. So now there's no signs of that happening. Splits here and there in the bunch as well, chasing. It's been that kind of day. Even in the middle of a town. Not everybody can hold the wheel here. There's Gelders who's been on the ground. I look behind from Askren, and well, that sort of stuff is only going to favour these two, who are now 4.5 kilometres from the line. 5 Ks to the finish. Make that 4. And the 5 Ks, by the way, for the peloton. That tells you how far they are apart. Yes, 47 seconds. It's almost a kilometre. Still no sign of any games. Keep your eye on this. Does somebody start to sit on? Is there a move? Is there an attack? And if so, can the other respond? Or will they continue to ride to the line? I know the peloton's getting closer, but there's still that little bit of a margin. Van der Poel still just about coming through and riding there. This man is riding. He is emptying himself now. 650 metres on the road still for the peloton to close. They come through. The car's being taken out behind, by the way, now. The gap getting closer. That was a neutral service car. As there are now 3 Ks to go. And look at that tailwind. Look at the banner. It's almost being blown up the road there. 650 metres still they have. Van der Poel right on the wheel. It's Pedersen here. 40 seconds we're hearing. Is he going to be able to play with Pedersen here, Van der Poel? He discards a beater. Another one goes as well. The last ballast is being thrown overboard. Organisation car now speeds up ahead. 2.5 kilometres to the line. It's been a pulsating Gent-Wevelgem, and now the peloton is getting closer. But yet, not close enough. We're waiting for any final twist to this story. Van der Poel is still there and still contributing. And another of those kilometre arches appears so quickly. They've been riding like the wind today, and they've been pulled along by the wind as well. 2 Ks to the line. It's going to be Van der Poel and Pedersen who are now going to fight it out for the win at Gent-Wevelgem and Flanders Fields. Pedersen winning this race 4 years ago. But Van der Poel only ever had him ridden twice. The best place of 4th. This is his opportunity to tick off a race that he's not yet won. Signed a brand new deal with his bike sponsor at the start of the week. 10 years with Canyon. Another 5-year deal with his current team, Alpecin Deceuninck.